Hey guys, all right, so you have to excuse me, I'm still a little tired. That was a long trip yesterday. I left out of Kemah at 2 o'clock in the morning and had not slept too good before that. Hey Dallas activist, I see you. All right, so I'm just giving you an update on what occurred yesterday. When I got in last night, I'm sorry, I was exhausted. I went straight to sleep. So I've been up now for maybe a couple of hours. Went to court yesterday, and the DA did not drop charges. They've kind of changed the charge, but I'm going to read that to you. As part of discovery, I got a bunch of paperwork, and I pled not guilty, and I set the case for trial on January the 18th of 2018. In the meantime, I've got about 28 motions that I've got to file. That I'll get to that. Right, so here's the actual charge that they have decided that they're going to try to prosecute, because the other charge obviously was invalid. Okay, just so you know, the Louisiana identification statute says that you must give your name, home address, and an explanation for what you're doing. I gave all that. I was arrested for not repeating my date of birth. Okay, that's not in the statute, but we'll get to it. All right, so I'm charged with Pineville City Code or Ordinance, Section 22-51, disobedience to police and fire department officials. It shall be unlawful for any person to willfully fail or refuse to comply with or to interfere with any lawful order or direction of a police officer or fire department official when such officer or official is engaged in the performance of his duties. I'm trying to think of an order that I disobeyed or didn't comply with. I can't think of any. You guys have seen the video. What order did I fail to comply with? All right. Got some interesting information from Sergeant Major Rufus Jones, who, by the way, is a reserve Pineville police officer. And speaking of the Pineville Police Department, I'm going to get to something here in just a minute, because I did go there in video yesterday. Yada yada yada. It just goes on. It asserts here. This is from his statement. It asserts here that Louisiana National Guard personnel are not public servants. They do not serve the people. That's straight from Sergeant Major Rufus Jones himself. Says that when he viewed the videos on my SD cards, he found nothing that compromised their security. That the reason that he was concerned was because they were having an upcoming event at the base, and he was concerned that I might be planning a terrorist attack. He says that he is familiar with the fact that citizens have the right to record in public, yada yada yada. However, I was not authorized by the U.S. Marshal Service to video there, and I was not authorized by the Louisiana National Guard to video there. Public property. Anything straight from the Supreme Court, anything you can see from public property, you can photograph. Okay, I don't need authorization, and I know Sergeant Major Jones is watching this video. I don't need your permission to take pictures of anything I can see in public. I have permission already. I have written authorization. It's called the Constitution of the United States and the First Amendment. Louisiana National Guard needs to learn that. Additionally, right from the Fifth Circuit, we have Turner versus Driver. I can videotape public servants in the course of their official duties, anywhere, anytime, as long as I'm in a place I'm permitted to be. And contrary to what you wrote in here, it says that I was on your property and then retreated to the curb. That is absolutely untrue. And my video footage shows that you're a liar. You're a liar. The video doesn't lie, but public servants do. So let's see. All right, so then it goes on and on and on. There's just so much stuff here I can't hardly get to it all. But in the narrative from the arresting officer, there's some interesting stuff. It says that he pulled me up. Let me see if I can find that here. I'm gonna find this here because this is interesting, and I'm fixing to piss off Homeland Security. Because here it is. Okay, so they have this thing called the Justice Network, and basically it is where officers go in and put in information about people, blah blah blah, you know. So the arresting officer from Pineville was nice enough to look me up on the Louisiana Justice Network, and it gives information there about me. It says I have explosive expertise, and you know, it's really funny, the Texas version of that. Okay, so let me pull up the Texas version. Pull up this here real quick. Okay. Subject is government trained in explosive usage and should be considered to have expertise in this subject. Subject is versed in law enforcement practices and techniques, has extensive training in dynamic entry and defensive extension of that. Extensive firearms training, including weapons retention and intel gathering, counter intel techniques, as well as surveillance, counter surveillance techniques. Wow. Subject has worked in and outside the United States as law enforcement and an employee of the U.S. government in various capacities, and actively served in the military. Homeland Security has an extensive file on this individual and routinely issues updated bulletins on the individual, and keeps a very hold on. I'm sorry, guys, I'm still tired. Homeland Security has an extensive file on this individual that is classified, however, regularly issues updated bulletins on the individual. Yada, yada, yada. It's all the same stuff, guys. Same story, different day. It gives me a headache, honestly. All right, so I pled not guilty. We're going to trial in January. Basically, that's the update. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about something, and this is important. The Pineville Police Department. You know, they got a lot of phone calls, and rightfully so, after my arrest. And unfortunately, I went in there yesterday into the lobby, and they were not receptive to me being there. However, you know, even though they were a little rude at first, they didn't try to stop me. And I ended up having a conversation with one of the sergeants there and a couple of the other officers. And I was saddened to learn that, you know, after my arrest, that some of these officers received death threats. Guys, that's not acceptable. Okay? That's not activism. Okay? That's that's being what they are. You know, these are the people that are giving me death threats. Okay? That's not us. All right? Constructive criticism, and if that means, you know, 5,000 phone calls, well, then that's what it is. All right? But constructive criticism. If they do wrong, you tell them they're wrong. Okay? But threatening people, and some of the officers that received death threats weren't even involved in the arrest. There was only one officer, other than Rufus Jones, who's really the National Guard. Making threats against these people, especially innocent officers that aren't involved, is not acceptable. Okay, so please, let's do it right. Let's be, you know, rise above, be better than they are. Okay, that's what I try to do every time. All right, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Rise above, be better. All right, so I got a bunch of legal work to do. I'm passing this all off to, no, you don't need, James, you don't need to call Pineville PD. Okay, it's out of their hands now. All right, there is, it's in the courts now. So this will all go to the courts, but we don't need to call them yet. I got a few surprises I've got to pull out of my hat first. All right, so that's it, guys. That's the update. Yeah, if you want to call somebody, the Louisiana National Guard management, I don't have the number here, but the Louisiana National Guard command structure in Baton Rouge needs attention. I am dumbfounded that Rufus Jones clearly states in this statement that I need permission from the U.S. Marshals to photograph them. I need permission from the Louisiana National Guard to photograph them in a public space. That's who needs attention. Pineville PD, I think they get it. I think they have a better understanding of, what's going on. Now, I will say that I was disturbed in court by what I saw there. I mean, it's a money-making racket. They write tickets for stupid stuff to generate money to pay the city so that the city can pay the police. Well, here's the problem with that. You're taking money from the poor people. I didn't see any rich people in court. Everybody I saw in court was poor. So you're taking money from the poor people. They are picking on people who don't have a voice, they think. Okay? It goes back to that slave owner mentality that I was talking about before. There are some changes that need to be enacted over there. How we go about that? I got a couple ideas, but I have to first work on this case and get this resolved. So that's my focus there in Pineville right now. And I know the U.S. Marshal Service over there at Camp Beauregard. There you go, Ted. I see that number. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you guys to harass anybody. I'm not telling you that at all. Okay. However, you have a First Amendment right to seek redress from your government. If you feel like something is wrong or isn't being done properly or whatever, it's your right to call them. And, my opinion, and I'm going to call the National Guard, my opinion is that they're morons. If they think I need to ask them for permission, nope. If they don't know, and Rufus Jones says in the statement that he knows public photography is lawful activity. And yet, he thinks I need permission to film National Guard members or U.S. Marshals. And by the way, message for U.S. Marshal Service there. So while I'm in the police department having conversation with this sergeant, the U.S. Marshal Service calls and wants to know what happened with me in court. Guys, this part of the message is specifically for the U.S. Marshal Service over there. Okay. Contact the U.S. Marshal that is over security at the Baton Rouge, Louisiana Federal Courthouse. Okay, he has my phone number. The U.S. Marshal is female. That's over the Houston Federal Courthouse security. She has my cell phone number and email address. You can also get it from the Pineville Police Department. They have both. Okay, if you want to know anything about me at all, just call. That's all you gotta do. Call me, email me. There's nothing hidden. Nothing I do is secret. Okay? It's public photography. I am not targeting the U.S. Marshals there at Camp Beauregard for any kind of malicious activity. You weren't involved in my arrest. You weren't involved in any of the stuff that went on. I have no ill will towards you guys. I have no ill will towards anybody. Okay? That's not what this is about. We just want our rights respected. We just want to stop government overreach. And in a lot of instances, that involves our personal information, how the government takes it and misuses it. Okay? That's all this is about. So You don't need to worry. You don't need to lock down your personnel. I know about the lockdown. You don't need to lock down your personnel because I come out and take pictures. Okay? It's unnecessary. All right? I'm not there to expose you guys. That's not what I'm doing. So anyway, that's it, guys. Y'all be safe, and I will be in touch again soon. As a matter of fact, I've got some videos from Louisiana coming here in the next couple of days that I think you guys will enjoy. So be safe, and I'll see y'all again soon.